Aisa Kacyira. I'm the Assistant Secretary General and Head of UN Support Office in Somalia. Our mandate as UNSOS is to provide logistical support to the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, formerly AMISOM, and the Somali Security Forces working jointly or in coordination with ATMIS, as well as our UN family, specifically the political mission UNSOM, and to some little extent UN country team. And in the morning, I do exercise, I do my prayers and prepare myself, come to office, and as much as possible try to gather information, read mail, listen to news, put stuff together just to get a good understanding of where we are. And thereafter, I go for my meetings. Normally, we have quite a good number of meetings internally as the UN system to coordinate and prioritize and move forward. Then also we have good meetings with our partners, primarily ATMIS, and also the Somali government, federal government of Somalia, the different entities and partners. Thereafter, I really intentionally reach out to my team now within UNSOS to support them, to hear from them, to see how we can move ahead, and I'm delighted to say that we've got a very good team. So I do that, I visit them in the site, sometimes I even go to the sectors, and then in the afternoon, late afternoon, evening, I join the bigger UN family with New York and elsewhere through video conferencing and like that. Then sometimes in the evenings, when security allows, we get again to engage with our partners now in a oftentimes more cordial, informal way, whether dinner or an evening or something like that. Since that time I stepped here, first of all, for me, I was seeking to really understand what do our clients or the people we serve, what do they expect of us? What would they wish us to, how would they wish us to serve them? So I think this is where we began from. They were very open. They appreciated what we're doing very well. And they also showed areas where we could improve. And since that time, I've continued to engage with them and we see progress. So I think for me, that is the key thing, seeing progress in terms of delivering on our mandate. Then secondly, I am very inspired by seeing the enthusiasm, especially of young people here in terms of learning and taking responsibility. And I'm talking about the Somalis now. In our limited spaces as UNSOS, as we deliver on the logistical support, we've created spaces for them to come and learn. And I love visiting them and seeing them try out things and really wanting to learn, asking questions. It gives an indication that there is a future, and this is transition certainly is clear, because it's one thing supporting, it's another the people you're supporting owning it and really taking off with it. I really love that. And I think the third, I love the teamwork and the trust. We have different background, different sometimes even interests, but I have found us working together as a team within the UN and also amongst us and the Somali government and ATMIS. We've got what we call the tripartite coordination mechanism, whereby myself and the SRCC and the head of government meet, convene and guide our teams, and sometimes actually go out even to the sectors together. The tempo is higher, the security risk is higher, the challenges are bigger, but there's similar sort of lines and that help me to connect and pick from my own past experience, especially knowing that when people are grappling with crisis and conflict, especially when it's protracted, you need to listen and understand them, and you need to value their trust and empathize with them. So for me, that is the beginning. The fact that this is my first position where I'm serving and I have a limitation in accessing the day-to-day way of living of people because we are in a camp. And when we need to go out, we need to go through a whole really complex security protocol because of the security situation. So that means that I have to be very intentional in finding out how are things outside there and how can we ensure that how we serve is the best way. And because of the security situation, we have a light footprint as UNSOS because we can't go everywhere. So how do I support my team working with our subcontractors to enable us to be able to deliver? So I think that that's the key thing. Second, the security situation, because it's volatile, I'll need always to be very careful and work together with my colleagues and our partners to ensure the safety and security of the people, of my security, and also the people that we serve with. So that is very, very key. And then I think thirdly, now this is maybe one can say an opportunity, the diversity. The diversity of the teams that we work with, the diversity of in terms of knowledge, of experience. So I find that very enriching right here whether in UNSOS itself, but also with a bigger UN family, and then also with African Union mission and also government. So my learning or my serving has shown me as a leader to be more of an enabler and a facilitator, to lead, but more importantly, to listen and seek to understand and then lead from that, from a point of understanding. So it's very important to bring people on board and to ensure that you also buy into some of the ideas that they've brought on board that maybe you're not used to. So it's continuous learning, and I think the learning curve was quite high, but I must say it's fulfilling. The need to make sometimes really quick decisions in a very complex political and security environment where things are changing and information is sometimes limited. How am I able to gather information to discern and make decisions at a strategic level and operational level? That is a challenge. But again, as I mentioned, one, because we've got great teamwork, I've got great support right from the senior most leadership, from the Secretary General himself and the other team members. I want to say that yes, it's very challenging, but it's not insurmountable. It's not like paralyzing. So in working together, we're able to forge our way forward and continue to learn from what we do. I think the other thing is, how do you support a transition process when the resources are limited? Yes, we have assessed contributions for the logistical support for ATMIS, but we don't have sustained funding for Somali security forces, and yet they have to take hold of what is being handed over to them, go ahead into the offensives, and at the same time learn, like we have capacity building. So the need for me and the team as UNSOS to be having the resources to help them do that is really like urgent. I think that's one of the key challenges, and I hope, and I really want first of all to thank the donors that have supported us and hope that that will be possible in the near future. One has to know that success will be measured by the people we serve. So one of the key things is to really listen, to be a good listener and to have empathy. And so to put people's views, the ones that we serve, at the forefront. At the same time, want to take time to be knowledgeable about what you have and the internal workings of the UN, why the rules and regulations are there, explain them, support them, defend them. And where you feel that there needs to be flexibility, then you communicate with the relevant levels and be able to move forward. So that's leadership. It's I listen, but I don't just go ahead and do whatever I'm asked to do. I work within what the mandate, my mandate, our mandate is, and be able to move forward. So that leadership calls for a clarity of vision, strategic thinking, prioritization, and being able to do that, but also remain pragmatic, remain results-oriented. The other part that is really key is the people skills. It's really about people because we are only enablers. Unlike my former role, for instance, where I was mayor and I was executive, now I'm not an implementer at all. So I may have the logistical support, but that is number two. First is, I connected and trusted by the Somali government and the African Union Transition Mission and my colleagues whom I'm supporting? Can I engage with them even in the planning so that we are clear and then go ahead? So the people skills, being able to communicate, being able to negotiate, being able to put across views that could be tough, but in a manner that is not hurting and yet is genuine. And also being able really to stand firm when it comes to principles and values.